Great to see you again, learners. Welcome back to another Global English Competitiveness video. Today, we're delving into the second part of Unit 1, Expressing My Own Feelings and Emotions. Get ready with your pen and paper as we explore the realm of emotional intelligence. To recap, we have 4 can-do objectives in this unit. First, to express oneself and one's feelings and emotions appropriately through a given text. Second, share learned strategies on self-management from the given passage. Third, articulate the essence of social awareness and relationship management. And fourth, convey one's own feelings and emotions using descriptive adjectives, comparative adjectives, proper adjective structure, and descriptive clauses. As you can remember, we have already covered our first can-do objective, where you expressed your feelings and emotions appropriately through a given text. This time, let's focus on our second can-do objective, to share learned strategies on self-management from the given passage. Without further ado, let's move over to our second lesson, 1B. Expressing my own feelings and emotions appropriately. And here are the sub-lessons that will help us achieve our objective. Vocabulary, grammar, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. For our vocabulary activity, analyze and decide which of the words inside the box are relevant to the term self-management. Write your answers on the web. Pause the video to start answering. Here are the correct answers. Now let's move on to our grammar lesson. Let's talk about comparative descriptive adjectives. We use these kinds of descriptive words to compare one thing to another. When we're comparing two objects or people, we use the comparative form of that word. There are 2 ways to form a comparative adjective. First, you can form the comparative adjective by simply adding er to the positive form of the adjective. Or, you can create the comparative adjective by adding more before the adjective. Examples. For most words, we only add er. Example, we have calm and calmer, strong, stronger, dim and dimmer. However, for adjectives that ends with y, we change it to I and add er. For example, silly becomes sillier, happy becomes happier, pretty, prettier. And there are also adjectives wherein we add more before the main adjective. So we say more beautiful, more handsome, more creative. Now for our grammar activity, complete the following sentences by choosing the appropriate phrase from the box below. For example, in number 1, if you practice more, your English will get better. Now pause the video and answer items number 2 to 6. Here are the correct answers. Let's continue with our second grammar point, superlative descriptive adjectives. These descriptive adjectives are like comparative adjectives, but they refer to the highest or lowest level of comparison. There are 2 ways to form a superlative adjective. 1, you can form the superlative adjective by simply adding est to the positive form of the adjective, or you can create the superlative adjective by adding most before the main adjective. For example, calmest, strongest, dimmest. We simply add est. Then we also have those adjectives that ends with y. So we change y to I and add est. For example, silliest, happiest, prettiest. And the third set, we have here the adjectives that needs the word most before the main adjective. Most beautiful, most handsome, most creative. Now let's test your understanding. Choose the appropriate adjective to complete the following sentences. For example, in number 1, self-management is the better or best remedy for self-control. The correct answer here is best because there are a lot of remedies, but self-management here is the best one. Now pause the video and answer items number 2 to 6. Here are the correct answers. Now moving on to our next macro skill, listening. Let's listen to an audio clip about the article, Expressing My Own Feelings and Emotions Appropriately.
Expressing my own feelings and emotions appropriately. Expressing our feelings and emotions in a suitable manner is a crucial aspect of self-management. When we can convey our emotions in a healthy and constructive way, we enhance our ability to communicate with others and nurture positive relationships. To begin with, it is important to understand our own emotions and feelings and be aware of the physical and mental cues that indicate how we feel. By acknowledging and accepting our emotions, we can start expressing them in a genuine manner. When sharing our emotions with others, it is vital to do so respectfully and appropriately. This means avoiding harsh or hurtful language and instead focusing on clear and concise communication. Additionally, we should consider the timing and context of our emotions, expressing them in a manner suitable for the situation. Effective communication entails both expressing our own emotions and actively listening to the emotions of others. By practicing active listening and empathy, we can better grasp the emotions of those around us and respond in a supportive and helpful manner. In conclusion, expressing our feelings and emotions in an appropriate way is a fundamental part of self-management. By acquiring effective and respectful communication skills, we can cultivate positive relationships and lead a more fulfilling life.
Time to check your listening comprehension. Answer the following items by choosing the letter of the correct answer. Pause the video to start answering items number 1 and 2. Continue answering items number 3 to 5. Here are the correct answers. Before you do the actual speaking activity, you're going to first engage in a self-reflection. How do you see yourself? How do others see you? Many individuals have limited chances to receive feedback about them. In this task, you will get an opportunity to receive feedback and have a discussion about it with a partner. It is possible that certain biases or misunderstandings may arise when comparing your assessments, as people often lack a deep understanding of each other to make accurate judgments. This is your chance to apply your self-management skills. Therefore, strive to be truthful in your evaluations. Here's a list of describing words. Choose 5 words that suit your characteristics as a person and use them in sentences. Apply the comparative or superlative form of the descriptive adjective. For example, I am the most sensitive person in the family. We have here the word sensitive, and then we use the superlative form. Engage in a self-reflection task where you assess your self-perception and gather feedback about how others may see you. Reflect on your strengths, weaknesses, values, and defining characteristics, and explore how others perceive your actions and the impact you have on them. Evaluate yourself objectively. Acknowledge both your strengths and areas for growth, and avoid being overly critical or too lenient. Embrace this individual opportunity for sincere self reflection, having an internal dialogue to enhance self awareness and apply your self management skills. Strive for honesty and self growth throughout the process, cultivating a deeper understanding of yourself. Let's proceed with the reading activity. Read the passage with me. Say It with Feelings by J.V.E.Y. A twitch in the brows, a piercing gaze. To a young kid in the 90s would mean physical pain after a misdemeanor is committed, either in the backside, ears, and just about anywhere. A nod means an approval or acknowledgement. A shake means no. Words, gestures, or actions convey one's thoughts and opinions. A jubilant leap or a triumphant shout could mean elation or delight. A cry or a shriek could be brought about by sorrow and pain. In school and at home, expressing one's feelings towards a certain thing or situation is highly encouraged. Doing so, however, must be done properly and appropriately. How? Be kind. 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 K. Know your point. Be able to organize your thoughts before presenting your ideas. Identify reasons why you think that way or how you arrived at the decision and back it up with data or proof. I, for indulge in a healthy and fair discussion. Be brief and concise in elucidating your thoughts using simple words and begin by saying, if I may suggest or say something. What is important is for you to be able to share your ideas so others may understand, learn, and perhaps agree with you. N. Never use inappropriate and hurtful words. Try to connect with the emotions of others to understand where they're coming from and what brought about such behavior. Empathize and be compassionate. D. Decide that not everyone agrees with you, and you may have dissenting and varied opinions over things. They have a thing or two to say about a certain matter. Be prepared to agree or to disagree. We need to reflect that we live under the same sun, the same moon, and breathe the same air. Being able to express opinions and ideas clearly and appropriately is indicative of a well-mannered, decent, thoughtful, and courteous individual. These are the attributes that the young people today need to cultivate, nurture, and develop. Now, to further check your reading comprehension skills, tick the 4 points suggested in the article in managing yourself appropriately. The first one is already given for you, but remember, you have to find the other 4. Pause the video to start answering. Here are the correct answers. And we're down to our final activity for this lesson. Identify your takeaway from the author's perspective on the passage, Say It with Feelings. Write your insights in about 150 to 200 words. Use the comparative or superlative form of adjectives. Take note, after writing, you may utilize ChatGPT to assess the quality of your write-ups, ensuring clarity, coherence, and adherence to instructions. Edit as needed and save or share as required. Pause the video now to start working on this activity. And with that, we have covered our second can-do objective, which is to share learned strategies on self-management from the given passage. In this lesson, we looked into the words related to the term self-management. We discussed comparative and superlative descriptive adjectives. We also listened to an audio clip on the article expressing my own feelings and emotions appropriately. You did a self-assessment and discussed it with your partner. You also read an essay on saying it with feelings. And you wrote an essay on your insights on the given passage. I'm glad we embarked on this learning journey together. Unit 1B comes to a close. I'm excited to continue our exploration in the next lesson. See you!